Hi everyone, Ed here from Shades of Vengeance, and I'm here with Leo.
Hello.
When I say here with Leo, I actually mean remotely, because of course we are social distancing due to the ongoing COVID-19 thing. Hopefully they'll have got over that by the days of the Consortium, won't they, Leo?
Yeah, well, we'll see how they go.
Today, we're going to talk to you about what is the Consortium. It's the world in which A Titan's Rise is based, and both of us are drawn to it very strongly for our own reasons, aren't we, Leo?
Yep, that's correct. Particularly because it's sci-fi, and we're both big sci-fi fans. But I think you approach it in a way that not many things do in terms of their story potential.
So, I created the Era of the Consortium universe originally for a tabletop role-playing game. And actually that's how Leo and I met. He experienced our tabletop role-playing game and decided to get a little more involved with us. So, when we wanted to build an epic story within one of our universes, Era of the Consortium was the first one that the two of us both connected with very strongly. Me, because I created it first, and Leo, because he loves the cyberpunk aspect of the universe that's brought forward. So when we decided to build a story, Leo came to me and said, hey, I'd quite like to do the story of Elliot Dragon.
Yeah, because he's a complex sounding character. I want to take a deeper dive into that and see if we can explore what makes him tick.
When Leo came to me and said, hey, I want to do an epic audio drama, I wasn't going to say no. The Consortium is one of those fantastic worlds where not everything is entirely defined, so there was plenty of room to define this character further and make it a story that you've never seen before, you've never heard before.
I wanted to, there's such a range of races within the Consortium. I wanted to start building a world that's inhabited by sentient beings. It's not just humanity on a planet, and that's why Elliot Dragon's story is so interesting to me. His life is shaped intensely by the fact that the galaxy is full of these different communities and the differences with which they interact with each other.
I think it's also worth mentioning the majority of the story takes place on one single planet, Tyrannus, the homeworld of the Consortium. But we had the opportunity to build the foley and the soundscaping for other planets as well and other situations, because he begins in a spaceport on another world, and we had to have a spaceport on one world sound different to a spaceport on another world. There is a period of time that he spends on a spaceship. There is a period of time that he spends in an sort of an army training camp. And all of these different situations were something where we had to look and we had to go, okay, how do we do the audio for this? What does this look like and therefore sound like? And for me, everything always started from how it looks. So I would envision a place and then say, okay, well, this is a giant area, so that means, Leo, what does that mean for the echoing sound within it? Okay, there are also quite a lot of people in there, so we got some background noise, and so on and so on. And for me, I would build the scenes like that.
Images help a lot, definitely. I think the main thing that I was having to do when I was coming to you, I was kind of saying, oh, what's the most common floor type in this space station? Is it metal? Is it stonework? Is it some kind of picrete? You know, you had to sort of get bombarded with a lot of texture questions, didn't you?
And that's one of the wonderful things about world building by building an audio drama, though, isn't it? Because I've never had to answer that question. Not ever, right? What's it made of? Probably some kind of metal.
That was your most common response as well. Some kind of metal.
The idea that the metal floor of a spaceship might sound different to the metal floor on a planet is actually a really important factor for the way in which things feel. The amount of echo you get in a spaceship corridor is different to what you get in a room on a planet, because spaceship corridors are going to be smaller.
There's also going to be a honking great engine somewhere that's humming and making a noise, so that'll have an effect as well.
So we got to go ahead and explore this world through a lens of how do we actually make it sound right. There's one other major thing I'd like to talk about regarding the way we made things sound, and that is Smurtios security. By which I specifically mean the differences between the individual who we meet in episode 2 and then the training camp that we experience in episode 3. Because the people that we meet are quite different in both cases, aren't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. Namely because in episode 3, it's a wider you get a wider range of these different individuals.
You do, but also they have a very different attitude. The music definitely comes into this. You know, we sell the attitude quite differently through the music, and that is the genius that Zulian has brought to this project. Smurtios security police, in effect, that we meet, they're a lot more by the book, I would say, than the people that we meet in the training camp, who are either bored, such as the character you played, or they are very corrupt. Mm-hmm. They're kind of morally corrupt, aren't they? They're very much focused on what they want out of life and carving their own place. And one of the things that's interesting from a writing perspective when doing this is Elliot kind of picks up what's around him and becomes like his surroundings.
Oh, definitely. If you look at how we start out in episode 1, we're in the same boat. Oh, what the heck is Tyrannus? What's all this stuff here? And as he grows up and progresses, we might not get the same viewpoints that Dragon acquires throughout his life, but we get a taste of how it's impacting him.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it an interesting story, because what it does is it leads you into, this is what life is like in this world, and this is what it's like to be someone living in this world. While you get that from a role-playing game, you don't get it in quite the same focused way as we're able to execute within an audio drama. We're able to have this person, this lens at the center of everything, and he looks around and we can look through his eyes and experience what he experiences. And the whole aim is to discover a new world.